What's up YouTube, it's your boy Naughty Nev. Welcome back to another video. So today I am going to show you Master Duel gameplay replays in the new Yummy meta. Yummy Mitsurugi or Yummy is now one of the best decks in Master Duel right now. So let's quickly go over my deck list. So as we can see, a new Master Duel ban list was released, and Joel and Lockbird, I believe, is limited to 1. I could be wrong, but I think it's limited to 1. Correct me guys if I'm wrong. So because of that, I am still playing only one copy of Joel. Joel is still our biggest enemy, and we're playing it as a cross out target. Then we play 1 Hertz, 1 Nashter, still 2 Maxi. Okay, I'm not sure. I think Maxi is the one that went to 1 and Joel is still at 2. I may have mixed up the order, but until then we will play 2 Maxi, 3 Cyber Dragon Core, 3 Ash Blossom, of course, because we have to protect ourselves against Maxi and the Molchommies. Then we play 3 Cyber Dark Claw, 3 Ghost Bell, because Dracotail is one of the meta decks, so we got to be prepared. 1 Cyber Dark Chimera, 1 Cyber Dragon, 1 Cyber Yomungoda, 1 Cyber Dark Worm, 1 Therion King Regulus, 1 Poly, 1 Power Bond, 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 3 Cybernetic Horizon, the best card in this deck, 3 Cyber Dark Realm, 1 Clockwork Knight, 1 Callby, 1 Cyberload, 1 Crossout, 3 Imperm, 1 Cybernetic Overflow. Then we play 3 Chimeratech Rampage Dragon, 1 Heroes Varag, 1 Cyber Twin, 1 Chimeratech Fortress Dragon, 1 Mega Fleet, 1 Cyber Eternity Dragon, the next best card in this deck because it protects our fusions from target and card effect destruction. 1 Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 Vermana, 1 Infinity, 2 Clockwork Knight, 1 Cyber Dragon Seeger, and SP Little Knight. Okay, let's hop into game number 1. Okay guys, so this is game 1 against Dracotail, and we are going first. We have, I don't know if it's a good or bad hand, but it's not good in terms of Cyber Dragon plays. We only have Cyber Dark Claw to get our combo starting. Hand traps, yeah, it's pretty good. We have Maxi and Fualos, but not good having Fualos because we are going first. But anyway, we're going to enter the main phase. We are going to activate Cyber Dark Claw to search for Cyber Dark Realm. No Duel, so we're going to use Realm to search for Chimera, then Realm to normal summon our Chimera, link summon into Clockwork Knight, and then we go Chainlink 1, Chimera, Chainlink 2, Clockwork Knight. I will speed it up a little quickly, search for the continuous spell, send Worm, Worm effect sending Core, and now here my opponent does chain Ghost Bell, and that is very unfortunate. It does actually hurt us here, so Worm is going to get negated, and I activate I'm forgetting this card's name. I activate Triple Tactics Talent, and I decide to look at my opponent's hand because we do have Maxi and Clockwork Knight, so I just want to get a sneak peek in what my opponent is playing, and we do see Branded Fusion, Phimena, Lucius, and Alba, so we know we're going up against Branded Dracotail. So I put back the Branded Fusion, I summon Claw, and then I go into SP Little Knight. Little Knight is just gonna banish Bell, and then I pass for turn. So which is good because since we have SP, if my opponent summons a monster, uses some other effect, SP can banish both of them, and that leaves our board empty. So Maxi is already live, but now we get to have Fualos live as well. So that was the plan behind this. So opponent's gonna enter main phase, and yeah, he drew into the Branded Fusion. That is crazy, but we do chain Maxi to the Branded Fusion, and my opponent has no response, so they'll use Albaz and Frixel to summon Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. Frixel effect will trigger to set Ketu. Unfortunately, Albion cannot be targeted, so we didn't use SP effect yet. My opponent will enter battle phase to strategically get rid of SP. Normal summon Lucius. Lucius effect is going to search for Urgula because we know they have Phimena in hand. Ketu effect is going to search for Pan, and now Phimena has enough materials in hand. By using Phimena effect, we do chain our first copy of Fualos and second copy of Fualos, and luckily we know what my opponent is playing. They have no Ash in the hand, so both Fualos are going to resolve successfully. And Famena will obviously fusion summon using Lucius, Pan, and Urgla to go into Arthelion. And we draw into Jormungandr and our third copy of Fualos, as well as Ghost Bell. So let me just quickly pull out the log here. Arthelion is going to target Famena and Pan. And then Pan, Chainlink 2, Urgla Chainlink 3, Lucius Chainlink 4. Both are going to, well, all three are going to set spells or traps. So they're going to set Rahu Dracotail. And then Urgla is going to set Horn, basically bounce back and attack position monster. And then Dracotail Flame, the spell card negate. Famena, Pan, and I believe Urgla are all gonna come. Oh no, it's just Pan and Famena. But Urgla is gonna put Lucius back in the hands. Then my opponent is gonna proceed to end phase. And yeah, now we're gonna start our turn. So we draw into Cyber Emergency, and just in the draw phase, I do activate Fualos because I'm not gonna wait till main phase. We know our opponent has Famena, so hitting Fualos early can resolve its effect before the main phase. And if my opponent does go Famena effect, we can get one draw. So we go Cyber Dragon Core. We're gonna summon Nashta from the deck. Nashta is going to target Chimera to Reborn. We go Chimera effect, discarding Emergency, search for Power Bond. And then we're going to activate Clockwork Knight. But unfortunately, we did use Chimera's effect, so we can't actually contact fuse. Instead, I just go Cyber Jormungandr effect to summon Cyber Dragon. Jormungandr effect, bounce back Nashta. We're going to search for Polymerization. We're going to activate Poly because I want to go into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon to get rid of his back row. That's the reason why we are doing this. So we're going to fusion summon with Cyber Dragon and Nashta into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. On summon effect, we're targeting, I believe, Flame and Rahu Dracotail. My opponent goes Albion effect, Chainlink 2, targeting Albaz and Fualos, but we have Ghost Spell in our hand to negate, so that is perfectly fine. My opponent will chain Dracotail Flame just to negate Clockwork Knight. The only reason why they're doing this is because it's gonna get destroyed, but they can get a draw off of it. Shuffling back K2, not sure what he drew into, but hopefully we hope for the best that they did not draw into our hand trap. Cool. Oh, sorry, we were targeting the two traps. I'll correct myself. So here, because I wasn't sure if my opponent drew into a hand trap, but we also know they have Famena, I straight away go into Chronomaly Vamana as protection. Then I go Power Bond, and we're gonna fusion summon using 3 of our monsters into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. On some effect, pop that Rahu Dracotail, fantastic. Then use its effect, sending 2 so you can attack twice, but Hertz is going to add Cyber Dragon Core to hand, and we didn't normal summon, so we're going to normal summon Core, but we did use its effect. The reason why we're doing this is so we can link summon into Cyber Dragon Seeger to boost Rampage Dragon. Seeger effect, boost Rampage, attack into Albion, attack into Arthelion, doing lots of damage, and then for the final attack, we win the game. Okay guys, we are going up against Yummy Mitsurugi, and our opponent is going first. So we have, I guess a okay-ish hand. We have full engine, but okay, besides Therion King Regulus, but full engine, that is what we have. We have no hand traps or interruptions against our opponent. So they're going to enter main phase, activate Habakiri, summon Saji. Saji effect is going to add Mitsurugi Ritual to their hand, and then they're going to activate Ritual using Habakiri from the deck to summon Murakumo from the hand, I believe. I think it's from the hand. Yeah, from the hand. Then Habakiri is just going to search for prayers. Then summon Cupsy. Cupsy effect, search for surprise. And you know, my opponent is going to go full combo. Maybe you guys have already seen this. But anyway, they're going to go into Snatchy. I'll put this in 2 times speed. Snatchy effect, place the field spell, reborn Cupsy. Synchro summon into Yummy Way effect, add 2, discard 1, add Lollipo and Marshmallow and discard Habakiri from hand, summon both, and then go into Metal Marcher, reborn Cupsy Yummy, and then synchro summon into Herald. This card is so annoying, guys. Then my opponent's going to activate Yummy Surprise, summon the Marshmallow from hand. Marshmallow will just add back the surprise, which is, yeah, you know, pretty good effect for Yummy. Then they're going to link summon into Sprite Elf. Like, the fact that this card is still legal, guys, oh my goodness. reborn Cupsy Yummy Way, and then use it to link summon into Yummy Snatchy. Set 2 and pass. So we know one of them is Surprise, the other one is Prayers. It has to be Prayers. So we have to go against a Floodgate, as well as a negate of Herald of the Arclights, another negate and board wipe, and just Yummy Snatchy basically just gonna be continuously synchro summoning. Okay, so we draw into Cyber Dark Chimera, guys. Okay, so we're gonna enter the main phase. I go Cyber Emergency first, trying to see if my opponent will respond to it, but they don't. On resolution, they'll use Sprite Elf to summon Yummy Way. I go Cyber Human God effect, which is definitely a good force of interruption, so my opponent will go Murukumo to negate, and we're happy with discarding because we're just going to discard Cyber Dragon Core, but unfortunately it gets banished because of Herald of the Arclight. So the plan here is we're trying to get rid of Arclight. That's the first plan, and we're going to see what we can do here. So Yomagata will resolve, will summon itself and Cyber Dragon on resolution. My opponent will go Prayers, basically tribute Murukumo. They'll add Habakiri, but Murukumo on the new chain will reborn its, still using Prayers, just to reborn Murukumo. Then Murukumo effect on the new chain, wipe our monsters. Okay, so now we can go Regulus, targeting Cyber Dragon to summon itself, and this successfully got the Herald of Arclight negate. Thank goodness. Okay, now we can play Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. So the Regulus negated and destroyed. We know some core effect, and my opponent will chain Cupsy Yummy, bounce itself back to special summon 2 from the graveyard. They'll summon Lollipo as well as Cookie, and yeah, core will search Cyber Dark Realm. On a new chain, Cookie, pop core, Lollipo, banish Cyber Dragon. Okay, fantastic. No response to that, of course. Then we activate Cyber Dark Realm. We're gonna search for Worm, and then we go Worm effect. The reason why I'm using Worm effect now is I'm trying to see what other interruption they have. I'm trying to force out interruptions. That is why I'm doing it. I'm trying to protect my Chimera. So Worm effect, send Hurts, add emergency, Hurts effect, just add core back to hand. We're gonna link summon into Clockwork Knight. Now, since we have Nashta in our hand, we're perfectly fine sending Cyber Dark Realm. Nashta can just discard Chimera and reborn Chimera. That's why we're doing this. And then we're gonna search for Clockwork Knight, activate Clockwork Knight, and now here all monsters on the field become machine. My opponent does chain Yummy. I'm not sure if it's on resolution or chaining. I think it's on resolution. They'll just perform a synchro summon into Lollipo. Lollipo is going to reborn 2 monsters from grave, and then my opponent's going to activate Yummy to special summon from the grave. I don't know why they're summoning from the grave. Oh, I guess it's for the link one, but I don't think it was important to use Surprise right now, to be honest. But since they summon Snatchy, they'll use its effect to place the other field spell, a Crow Query, basically the pop, and on resolution, Snatchy is going to perform a synchro summon into, I forgot this, well, into Cupsy Yummy, I guess. I thought they were going to synchro summon into other monster. They're just going to use this effect at Marshmallow and Lollipo, and discard Habakiri from hand. Then we go Nashta effect, discarding Chimera. My opponent will chain Lollipo Yummy Way, and they're just going to summon back Snatchy as well as Cupsy. Nashta reborn itself, chaining 1 Nashta, target Chimera, chaining 2 Chimera just to chain block. Cupsy effect, chaining 3 to draw a card. So we'll let this resolve. And now on a new chain, my opponent goes Yummy Snatchy to synchro summon into Cookie. So basically the one that flips our monsters face down. Okay, so both monsters get face down. Very troublesome. Now we go Clockwork Knight to target Worm to reborn, but my opponent has Bell in the hand, which is very unfortunate. So Clockwork Knight does get negated. I perform a contact fuse because we can use face down Cyber Dragon monsters to go into Mega Fleet. Enter the battle phase, we'll just clear the monsters. I do leave Murukumo on board. It is risky because if they have prayers in hand, Murukumo can just be tributed, bring itself back and wipe our board, but I thought to myself it was more important that we don't leave the Yummy monsters on field. That's what I was thinking. You guys can tell me if you have any other thoughts on this play. Cool, so we're forced to pass for turn. And now my opponent's going to activate the field spell effect. Basically shuffle back Yummy and Cookie. Yeah, the extra deck monsters. They'll summon Lollipop. And then they're going to synchro summon into Almirage because all monsters on the field are machine. But this is the play just to go into SP Little Knight. And SP Little Knight is just going to take care of Clockwork Knight. Then it'll go what is this? Yeah, it's Prayers. Prayers to reborn Murakumo from grave. Murakumo effect, blow up the field, very unfortunate. And then they're gonna link summon into Sky Striker Ace Camellia. So I'm not sure what the play was here, guys. This is a link 2, thank goodness it's not a link 1, which will start getting their yummy plays in rotation. I'm not sure what the play was here. Yeah, I'm not sure, but they do end on this and pass. I think they should have just ended on SP, to be honest. I guess they made a mistake on their own. They only realized after bringing out Camellia. But pass back to turn. We join to Power Bond. We're going to activate Cyber Emergency, search for Cyber Dragon Core. The reason why I search for Cyber Dragon, well, yeah, my opponent's good. But the reason why we search for Cyber Dragon Core is because we have 2 Cyber Dragon names to at least go into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon with Power Bond. But I guess my opponent had no response, so as you can see, they scooped. Let's go into the next game, guys. Okay guys, so we are going up against Odon Trap, or the man with the mask, however you like to call it. Our opponent is going first. Okay, and in our hand, our hand is decent. I'll say it's decent. Unfortunately, we did draw into Cyber Dragon a brick, but we have Molchummy for Wallace. Okay, so opponent's gonna activate what is this card's name? The Anubis. Yes, there we go. Anubis, search for the man with the mark. Normal summon the man with the mark and basically add treasures of the kings to the hand. Activate the field spell. The field spell gets to set the Apophis the Serpent. Set another trap and then use its effect to search for Merciless Scorpion. And then Merciless Scorpion will summon itself, and then its effect is going to add Temple of the Kings to their hand. And then here we decide to drop Fualos because I know the fusion monster requires, I think it's 2 cards. It doesn't have to be the monsters, but oh wait, I think it's 2 monsters. The traps does become monsters. 2 monsters that mentions man with the mark. So I do drop the Fualos. My opponent sets a 3rd trap, activates Temple of the Kings. Temple of Kings will allow him to activate Apophis. Apophis will summon itself and set another deity. And then those 2 monsters will bring out Divine Serpent Apophis. We get 1 draw. Join to Imperm. Going to use the Fusion Monsters effect to set them back. And of course we are going to Imperm that. That is very important. I'm not sure what the 2 other traps are, but at least we know he can't recycle those traps. Then my opponent is going to perform a link summon. I believe it's Silhouette Rabbit. Yes, Silhouette Rabbit. So they still get access to the Apophis, the Serpent, but we join to Duel, but Duel is late to the party and doesn't actually work against Odon Trap, to be honest. Well, in this game, because my opponent already has everything he needs. Then we join to Power Bond, very unfortunate. Alright, summon Cyber Dragon. And then the summon of Cyber Dragon forces Apophis the Serpent to be summoned to set Apophis the Swamp Deity. That will trigger the fusion monster to destroy our Cyber Dragon. We go Cyberdark Claw to search for Cyberdark Realm. And then we go Cyber Emergency. We're going to search. I'm not sure why. Well, actually, it doesn't make a difference. I was thinking whether to go Cyber Emergency first or Cyberdark Claw, but you know, Cyber Emergency, as you can see right now, is going to get negated. There was nothing to stop Cyberdark Claw besides Ash Blossom, I guess, or some other card that, like Call By, I guess. But anyway, forget what I'm saying. Apophis is going to negate Cyber Emergency, negates its effect, not the activation, so we can't use Cyber Emergency to add itself back. But because my opponent did activate a monster effect, we go Talents to take control, and turns out the one set card was Primate Drill Beam. But that's good, at least Talents did bait it out. That's very good for us. Okay, and now activate Cyberdark Realm, search for Cyberdark Chimera, Realm effect, normal sound Chimera, link summon into Clockwork Knight. It's going to be Chainlink 1, Chimera, Chainlink 2, Clockwork Knight, search for the continuous spell, and Chimera will send Worm, go Worm effect, sending Hurts, summon itself, add back emergency, Hurts effect, add Cyber Dragon back to hand, and then we're going to go Clockwork Knight. But turns out they have a third copy of Apophis the Swamp Deity, so that is going to be activated, and of course it will definitely be going after our Clockwork Knight, so all monsters on the field do not become machine. But because he did pop it with Silhouette Rabbit, we can use its graveyard effect to search for Therion King Regulus. Therion King Regulus targeting Chimera, bring itself back. We don't need Chimera to come back onto the field because we already have Power Bond in hand. Clockwork Knight, I do go Hertz effect, Clockwork Knight to Reborn Hertz, Tributing Worm, because I needed a Cyber Dragon monster name. And as you can see here, we can activate Power Bond, but on the activation of Power Bond, my opponent chains Retaliating Sea. I did not expect that, but obviously they're playing it because of Dracotail, and because we need to send materials to the graveyard, I do go Therion King Regulus to negate Retaliating Sea, which is very important for us, but I don't think we'll be able to attack for game in this turn. So Power Bond is going to fusion summon into Chimera Take Rampage Dragon. Use its effect, just pop 2 of his trap cards that are monsters on the field. So Chimera Take Rampage Dragon, send 2 to the grave, and then we're going to go for game. But luckily for us, I thought it wouldn't be game, but Silhouette Rabbit cannot be destroyed by battle. So Rampage Dragon is just going to crash into Silhouette and we take that game. Okay, let's go into the next game, guys. Okay guys, so this is the next game and we are going against Diabell. I'm not sure if that's the correct name to describe this deck, but Diabells, I'm gonna call it that. And we're going second, so our hand is, yeah, you know, it's decent. We only have Imperm as an interruption, and a Clockwork Knight and Cyber Dragon is not the 2 cards you want to see in your hand, to be honest. Unless you're going second, I guess, it's up to you, but personally, I don't like it. So my opponent is going to summon Diabellstar, sending Azamina Determination to the graveyard, and I decide to Imperm it because this can get them access to the Azamina Fusion engine, so that is why I negated Diabellstar. My opponent activates Azamina Depters, revealing Lago. Yo, gosh, I butchered that name probably. But they do get to summon the Lago by sending the spell card Sinful Spoil Subversion to the grave. Then Azamina Determination is going to trigger. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Sinful Spoil Spell Trap in the grave, set it, but it cannot be activated this turn. Obviously my opponent is going to set the Subversion back into the field spell trap zone, and then Lago is going to search for Deception. Then Deception effect, uses effect tributing Lago to search for Queen Azamina. Then using, wow, they had hollowed Azamina in the hand, very unfortunate, so the Imperm was a waste. Basically sending Subversion and Queen to summon Saint Azamina. Okay, then Queen Azamina trailing 1, and then Saint Azamina trailing 2. Basically Saint and Azamina is going to summon Regina from the extra deck, and then Queen Azamina will just bring itself back onto the field. Regina will reborn the Lago, and then hollowed Azamina, bounce back Lago, add itself back to the hand, and then use it one more time because it's not once per turn, just to summon Sylvia from the extra deck. So they have a negate against us, and in the end phase, set back Deception and pass for turn. Okay, so we are going to start our turn with Polymerization. Not a card I want to see, but let's see what happens. Okay, so we are going to activate Clockwork Knight. I'm trying to force out yeah, that just happened, guys. I was trying to force out Sylvia, but my opponent did not respond to it, so I simply summoned Cyber Dragon, and boom, Contact Fuse. But now Diabellstar went to grave, it will just use its effect to summon itself back, and then use its effect just to set Wanted, but no problem against us. So from here, guys, I believe my opponent does not have anything against us, so we are going full Cyber Dragon combo. Searching core, search realm. Realm is going to search for Cyberdark Chimera, summon. They will use this effect to search for Powerbomb, and now we're in the winner's seat right here. Going to SP, Chimera will send Worm effect will activate, sending Hertz, add emergency back to hand. Hurts effect, add Cyber Dragon back to hand. Fusion summon into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Rampage Dragon just pop the back row as well as Realm just for just. Uses effect, send up to 2 Light Machine monsters, enter the battle phase, and guys, this is just game. Okay guys, now we are going up against branded Dracotail, and our hand is pretty good. We have a starter, an extender, and 3 hand traps. So yeah, let's see how this goes. So opponent's gonna normal summon Cartesia, then activate Rahu Dracotail. I go Ash just to negate it. I could have went Max C, but if they had Ash against our Max C, then Rahu Dracotail is just gonna resolve, and I don't want that to happen, so I prioritized Ash Blossom here to negate Rahu Dracotail. Okay, opponent will activate Branded Fusion, and now we can drop our Max C. And does our opponent have an Ash Blossom? I don't think so, but they'll chain Cartesia to perform a fusion summon, so we get 1 less draw. So they'll use Balulu and Cartesia in hand to fusion summon into Arthelion. Then Maxi will resolve, and now Branded Fusion sending Albaz and Frixel basically to summon Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. We get 1 draw, drawing to Poly. On the new chain, Arthelion is going to bounce back. I believe it was, oh yeah, Frixel and Malulu, and then chaining 1 Malulu, sorry, chaining 2 Frixel, chaining 3 Malulu. They're just going to set Dracotail, Spell, or Trap, so that's very good for them. They're going to set Flame as well as Horn. It should be Horn. No, it's going to be Ketu instead. Okay, cool. So Arthelion, just add Frixel and Malulu back to hand. And then Ketu is going to activate, add Vimena to hand, and then pass for turn. Okay, so we are drawing into Cybernetic Horizon. Oh my gosh. The best card in this deck, guys. Anyway, we're going to use its effect first because I need to force out that Flame. Flame is very troublesome. We cannot allow it to negate Power Bond as well, so hence why I'm leading with Cybernetic Horizon, and thankfully it sends for cost. So we're going to send Worm from hand and Nashta to grave, but my opponent lets it go through, and so we're going to search for Cyber Yomangarda and send Cyber Eternity to grave. We use Eternity effect before you forget, then we go Cyber Yomangarda, special summon itself and Cyber Dragon. Then on resolution, my opponent activates 5 mana. We have no response to that, so they're gonna fusion summon into Gulamel. Chaining 1 Malulu, chaining 2 Gulamel because we did not respond. We couldn't respond anyway. It's just gonna pop Cyber Dragon, and then Malulu is going to set Rahu Dracotail as well as negate Yomangarda. Then we go Worm effect, sending Hertz, Reborn itself, recycle Cybernetic Horizon. Hertz effect on the new chain is going to add Nashta to hand. We have 2 level 5, so we're going to perform a XC summon into Nova, and then on the summon, Albion Sanctifier, targeting Albaz and Maxi, and we can just chain Bell to negate. So that's very good for us. Chainlink 3, Cartesia to perform a fusion summon. Not sure what they're fusion summoning into, but they're using Gulamel and Frixel, and okay, I know what it is. It's going to, oh, never mind, it's Arthelion, never mind. Arthelion is going to be summoned. Albion is going to get negated. On the new chain, Arthelion, bounce back Nova, and then Arthelion in grave, reborn itself, and then Frixel, Chainlink 3, set a, not branded, Dracotail, Spell or Trap. That's just going to be another Ketu. Cool, so Arthelion, reborn itself from grave, and then Arthelion is going to bounce back Nova. Gulamel is now going to bring itself back. Cool, and now we know some core effect. We did use a lot up. Sorry, we did use up a lot of my opponent's interruption. So we should be in the driver's seat right here. So normal sound core effect, search for realm. Activate Poly. Okay, yeah, sorry, we forgot about the flame. Here I decide, you know what? My opponent hasn't used flame yet. We need realm to resolve. So we're going to use Poly to go into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon or Heos Frog. And thankfully, my opponent is using Flame to negate Poly, which is perfectly fine with us. But they do draw a card which is very concerning. Realm search for Chimera, Realm normal sound Chimera. Clockwork Knight will be summoned, search for the continuous spell. Then we go Chimera, discarding Clockwork Knight, search for Power Bond. And then we go Clockwork Knight, banishing, discarding Nashta, search Regulus. Clockwork Knight, reborn Nashta, reborn Yomangarda, then Regulus summon itself, Yomangarda effect, bounce back Cyber Dragon, search for Poly, and then we're going to link summon into Cyber Dragon Seeger, and then fusion summon into Chimera Take Rampage Dragon. Rampage Dragon effect, just pop the 2 back row, and then use its effect. We're going to send 2 Cyber Dragon cores. So we are using every single piece of our Cyber Dragon monsters, so we really do need to make this work. Whatever we do in this turn, it needs to work. So we enter battle phase, Regulus will attack, and then I go Seeger just to boost itself, because my opponent had a full field. We can't go for game, so let me just clear my opponent's board, and then Rampage Dragon will just clear up the rest of the monsters, of course. Main phase 2, perform XC summon into Cyber Dragon Nova. Once again, Nova effect, reborn Cyber Dark Worm, and then go into Infinity. I'm not sure why I summoned Worm. Oh wait, let me pause here. So I made a mistake. I should not have summoned Worm. I should have summoned another Cyber Dragon monster like Core. So I misclicked, thinking Worm was a light attribute, because we could have summoned Hero's Rob. So that was the mistake I made here. I misclicked. Okay. But yeah, end phase, Cortez is gonna add itself back to hand. I do go Infinity to negate. I don't want him to get materials for fusion summon. That is why I used Infinity to negate. Opponent draws a card and unfortunately does nothing, so we win this game. Okay guys, so now we are going up against Yummy Mitsurugi and we are going first. So our hand is it's not the greatest, but let's see what we can do with it. So we're gonna enter the main phase. We're gonna only use Cyberdark Claw because that's the best play we have. Search for Cyberdark Realm, activate Cyberdark Realm, search for Cyberdark Worm because we already have Chimera. Then Realm effect is gonna normal summon Chimera. Perform a link summon to Clockwork Knight. We'll just go Clockwork Knight effect, search for the continuous spell. Cyberdark Worm sending Core, and now my opponent chains for Wallace. We have Ash Blossom to negate, and then Worm summon itself, add back Realm, and then Clockwork Knight reborn Chimera, discard Clockwork Knight, search for Power Bond, and then we're gonna link summon into SP Little Knight, and then Clockwork Knight effect, since we could just discard the Fuwalos, search for Regulus, summon itself to protect us against Nibiru or Impulse. We go Power Bond to fusion summon into Chimera Take Rampage Dragon. Rampage Dragon is going to send Hertz and Core. Hertz is going to add Core back to hand. Normal summon Core effect, search for Cyberlord Fusion, activate Cyberlord Fusion. Fusion summon into our second copy of Chimera Take Rampage Dragon, then use that Rampage Dragon to send Nashta and Yomagata. See summon into Nova. Nova is going to bring back Nashta bring back Yomagata, bring out Infinity, and then Yomagata bounce back. Nashta, search Poly, activate Poly to fusion summon into Hero's Varag, use its on summon effect just to add back a fusion summon spell card, set the Cyberdark Realm as a bluff, and then I pass for turn. We're just going to recycle Cyberlord Fusion. So opponent is going to activate Echo Query, guess he's trying to force out an interruption against us, but we are not fools here. Then my opponent is going to activate Habakiri, a really good card, and that just forces Regulus negate from me. Maybe could have used Infinity to negate and destroy, but I decided to save it for his Yummy plays instead. Like they can lose a body, because Infinity does negate and destroy. Okay, then they'll summon Cupsy effect, chain link 1, SP chain link 2. We can banish it so they lose a body, they lose a name, and Infinity and Hero's Varag can compete against his 2 other plays. Cool. They'll search for Marshmallow, then Aqua Query effect, which I completely forgot about, I won't lie. Its effect basically, since a face-up monster left the field by our card effect, they can special summon 1 Yummy monster from the deck. That is an instant Hero's Varag negate. I have to use it here. So we are a bit of a risk here. If he has enough names, he can just push through. Then he goes Marshmallow effect. And I go Infinity to negate and destroy. Basically, they just can't have a Yummy name on board. Like, that's it. That's the whole purpose here. Negate and destroy. And yeah, proceeds to end phase. So thankfully for us, we managed to survive. Join to Ash, and now I go Infinity to take his Cupsy as material. And my opponent scoops from there. And yeah, we take the win. Okay guys, we are going up against Mitsurugi and we are going first, and our hand is great in terms of hand traps, but in terms of Cyber Dragon plays, we only have one play and it really needs to go through for it to work. So we activate Cyber Emergency to just bait out any Ash, but no response. We'll search for another core, because if this core gets negated, at least we have a core as follow-up. So that is why I searched for a second copy of core. No on core, no interruption, so we search for Realm, and I think we're in the driver's seat here. So Realm, search for Chimera. I'll just speed up, summon Chimera, link summon into Clockwork Knight, use its effect, search for the continuous spell. Chimera's effect, search for Power Bond, but the opponent drops Maxi, but we do have the Ash to negate. Search for Power Bond, link summon into SP Little Knight. I go Chain Link 1 Chimera, Chain Link 2 SP just to chain block Chimera from Ash, you know, if he was holding it. Worm effect, sending Hurts, and my opponent has Impulse. This is my mistake. I should have used Clockwork Knight to search for Regulus. So it is a very simple thing I could have avoided and protected my Worm against Impulse, or even protect ourselves against Nibiru. So this is my mistake here. Please don't do my mistake. Then Hurts effect will activate, search for Cyber Dragon Core. Then we go Clockwork Knight to search for Therion King Regulus, which is what I should have done first. Then we go Regulus effect, equipping Hurts, and we're gonna bring itself out. Activate Power Bond. So I decided to fusion summon into Chimera Take Rampage. Hero's Varog. There we go. So even though we can't go Infinity, we can still bring out Hero's Varog. And Hero's Varog effect. Then we'll set the Imperm and pass for a turn and hope for the best. Okay. Hero's Varog, add back Power Bond. So my opponent's gonna normal summon our Amasa Chain Link 1. We go Imperm Chain Link 2 because I don't want him to get access to Habakiri or Murakumo. That is why I negated our Amasa. Then my opponent has Habakiri in hand, which does force out Therion King Regulus to negate. And now Hurts effect on the new chain, add core. So I just want to pause here. Some of you guys might be thinking, oh dude, you had Maxi, just drop the Maxi. Yes, you're right, but I didn't want to drop Maxi, relying on it to draw cards to the point where my opponent will draw enough engine to just play through all our interruptions. So I'm relying on my interruptions on board first, and then Maxi as a last resort. But now we can see here, my opponent had no other plays, so he goes into Typhon. I'll just speed it up here. Enter battle phase, attacking into SP. Typhon effect just to bounce back Hero's Frog, and passes for a turn. Okay, so it's our turn. We're going to draw into Poly. We are going to normal summon core effect, search for Cyber Emergency. Emergency, search for Yormungandr effect, special summon self and Cyber Dragon. Going to Nova effect, detach Cyber Dragon, bring back Hurts. Going to Infinity, take that Typhon, and then Power Bond into Chimera Take Rampage Dragon. Hurts effect, but it will just add a name, but from here it was just game, and as you can see, we took the game against Mitsurugi, guys. Okay guys, we are going first against White Forest Fiendsmith. Yeah, White Forest Fiendsmith, we're going first. We have a very good hand, two starters, but Claw being an extender. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do. I'll fast forward here. Core, search for Cybernetic Overflow. Claw is gonna search for Cyberdark. Realm is gonna search for Chimera. Realm is gonna normal summon Chimera, link summon into Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is gonna search for the continuous spell, and then we're gonna use Chimera discarding Clockwork Knight to search for Power Bond. Link summon into SP, and then we can use Clockwork Knight effect now, discarding Worm. Remember, we're not repeating our mistake. Get Therion King Regulus established early. Then we'll go Worm effect, sending Hurts, special summon itself, add back Realm to hand. Hurts effect is going to add Cyber Dragon. Then we go Power Bond into Chimera Take Rampage Dragon. Use its effect, sending Nashta and Yormungandr. XC summon into Nova. Nova is going to reborn Nashta, and then Nashta reborn Yormungandr, and then go into Infinity, and then Yormungandr, search for Poly, activate Poly to fusion summon into our boy Hero's Frog, and obviously use its effect to add back a fusion card. We're going to set Cybernetic Overflow and pass for turn. Okay, pretty good board and two good hand traps in our hand. So, opponent's going to activate Philia Diabell, add a level 8 monster, and because we control a monster, they can special summon it, so we're going to drop the Maxi, of course. My opponent goes call by, and that's very important that we actually negate it, because yeah, Maxi is such a good card, guys. We can get a couple of draws. So Hero's Rogue is going to negate call by the grave. They're gonna summon what is this card's name? Diabells, the White Witch. And on summon effects, send a Sinful Spoils or Diabell card from the deck to the grave. That's going to be Betrayal. I believe this Betrayal has it's this graveyard effect, which I didn't realize it had until a specific interaction happens. My opponent goes Deception tributing White Witch. We go Ash to negate, and now here the trap card I realize has that graveyard negate, so it's basically negating Ash, and we have to use Therion King regulars to negate. Don't want him to get access to the Azamina engine. Okay, Deception gets negated. Then my opponent's gonna activate Thrust, and I decide to let it go. It's quite a risk. I decided to let it go because I thought to myself, I have Infinity, I can just negate whatever card he searches. So he searches for Talents, and then he goes Talents to take, and obviously that forces out Infinity to negate and destroy, of course. Then my opponent will activate Toy Box effect to place Tank and Soldier into spell and trap zones. Normal summons Rushia. Now here I made a mistake. Rushia is not an on summon effect, it's an ignition effect. And I thought it had to send a spell or trap from the hand. I mean, only from the hand, but it also can send from field. So this is my mistake. I could have just went Cybernetic Overflow, popped the Rushia. But I didn't, so chaining 1 Rushia, chaining 2 SP. I just don't want him to have a tuner on the field, obviously stop him from performing synchro summons. So Toy Soldier will summon itself, we get a draw. On summon effect is going to search for Toy Box. I thought he could summon for search for a level 4 light monster instead, but I don't know the deck, guys. So my opponent will activate a second copy of Toy Box. Then he's using the effect of Toy Box to destroy our back row. So I'm forced to use Cybernetic Overflow to pop. Overflow is going to banish Worm. Unfortunately, only Worm. Nashta is in our hand, it's not on the field. We don't have any other Cyber Dragon name, so we can only pop that Toy Box. And thankfully, yeah, my opponent scoops. He had no place from here. Okay guys, for the final duel we are going up against Branded Dracotail. I think it's Branded Dracotail, and we are going first. We have a really good hand. Okay, so we're going to enter the main phase, activate Cybernetic Horizon, sending Claw and Hurts to grave as cast. We're going to search for Cyber Dragon Core and send Cyber Eternity Dragon. Hurts effect is going to search for Cyber Dragon, chaining 2 for Wallace, and unfortunately we have no Ash Blossom or Core by the Grave or Cross out against it. So we can't go full combo here. So we're going to search for Cyber Dragon. Normal summon core effect. We're going to search for Cybernetic Overflow because we're under 4 Wallace. I go Realm, search for Chimera, and then I just set 2 pass. The reason why I search for Chimera is so that I don't have to search for it. I already have it in my hand. Okay, so opponent's going to start their turn by activating 5 mana, something you don't want to see. They're going to send King of the Swamp and Pan to fusion summon into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That is crazy. I did not see this coming. Pan is going to set Ketu and then pop our Cyber Dragon Core. Now here, I was thinking to myself, they used 5 mana effect. Ketu is going to search for Lucius. Lucius will normal summon, use its effect, and I was thinking Lucius adds a Dracotail monster. So maybe they have Rahu Dracotail in the hand and they need a Dracotail name for Rahu Dracotail. So I decided to go Cybernetic Overflow to destroy the Ketu before that happens, but unfortunately Dragoon is there to check our Cybernetic Overflow. Very unfortunate. They did have Horn in hand, so they had a dead card. So as you can see, they use Ketu, search for Lucius, normal summon Lucius. Lucius effect, and we do have Imper, because I'm still going with that idea. This last card is probably Rahu Dracotail. I don't want them to get access to a Dracotail name. Cool, so we do negate Lucius with Imper. And yeah, my opponent just enters battle phase. It's gonna deal for a lot of damage, but we are not dead yet. And my opponent is going to pass. Okay. Turns out the last card in his hand was Maxi, guys. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong about the text context of Rahu Dracotail and how it works, but yeah, at least I explained my thought process. So we join to Imper, opponent will drop the Maxi on us, we're going to take the Maxi challenge. Cyberdark Claw is going to search because my opponent has no cards in hand, so we can do all the searching, discarding that we want right now. Cybernetic Horizon, sending Cyber Dragon and Worm, search for core and send Cyber Twin to the grave. We're going to use Eternity Effect now to protect our fusions, then normal summon core, search for Cyberlord Fusion, and just contact fuse the big boy away. Realm, normal summon Chimera. Chimera's effect early to search for Power Bond, because obviously my opponent will draw cards. Worm effect, sending Nashter, add back Cyberlord Fusion, and then they get another draw. Then we're going to go into Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight effect, sending the continuous spell to get the continuous spell, activate the continuous spell. Then we're going to go into Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Rampage Dragon effect, pop the spell. I don't know, it's not ideal what I did, but I did want to get access to Therion King Regulus. My opponent's hand was not lighting up yet, so I was like, okay, listen, let me just get Therion King Regulus. I don't know what he has, I don't know what he'll draw into next. Cool. Oh, I think at this point actually it was lighting up, and I was like, okay, I actually need to get Therion King Regulus. I think that's what happened. Cool. So he does draw a card, and okay, so I guess up until this point he had no interruption, and the final card he drew off Regulus was 5 mana, which he is using now. And obviously we have Therion King Regulus to negate it. Let me just fast forward. Cool. Enter battle phase, and that is game, guys. Okay guys, that brings us to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it entertaining and insightful. Otherwise, that brings us to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Otinef signing out. Peace.